Douglas McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Douglas McDonald, the renowned saxophone player, has privileged us by gracing our set. Let's have a little bit of Mr. Telephone Man, if you please. So you could take, Doug, you could take basically any song, jazz it up, and knock it right out. Did you see the new editions, 2-hour, 4-hour TV series?
Yeah, yeah.
It brought back a lot of memories, huh?
Man, intense. Definitely.
Aren't you from that era, though? Kind of, you about the same age as New Edition?
No.
What? You younger?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you got the whole thing there. Looks like you're a little older than that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure to get you on Leap His Live, man. You become like you don't even know it, man. You're a cult figure on the show. Every time I've had you on the show, we get a whole lot of texts and everything. We're going to get Doug back.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. When you out there playing in the community at different events, and when people get a chance to get close enough to you, one of the things I know is when I get close enough to you, you play the instrument, but you got personality too, man. So growing up, you were always interacting with people all the time?
No, not really, actually. I
You
was
were a
more
closet guy in there playing that
shy.
music?
Yeah, very shy growing up. But I grew up in a medium to large church.
Okay.
And so I got some good stage time, as well as a big shout out to my mentor, Randy Corinthian. He kind of took me under his wing and helped me grow more socially. But then when I got to middle school, high school, I became more of a leader. And so that's what really put me out in front in bands and so on and so forth.
Like, were you that kid though, like your parents say, hey, you need to learn how to play an instrument, or they got you into music and you were like in the back room all the time just playing the saxophone, or what?
Pots and pans.
Okay.
Pots and pans. I always knew I wanted to be involved in music. I would, on my own, I would grab all the pots and pans and wooden spoons and just go crazy.
In the house?
And get in trouble, yeah.
Wow.
But my mom was an organist.
Okay.
My dad, no musical talent. I get all my athleticism from him. But music was always in my family, and my big brother, who actually attended Florida State University playing clarinet, was a huge inspiration. Although he's 15 years older than me, my only brother.
Call his name on TV, make him famous.
Kevin McDonald.
Okay, because he's saying, man, call my name, man.
Yeah, but he was a big influence in my life as well for music, so I wanted to do this from the start. Sure.
Now, when I was in school, I never played music. I wish I had played the drums, but that's another story. But I noticed that the students, like when I was in elementary school, we had a band music department in school.
Right.
I don't know if they still have that now in elementary school level, but the students who did music were smart in other courses. Does that discipline from music translate over into you being more academically sound?
For sure. Music teaches you practice and the value of practice. I'm not afraid to spend hours on something. And to get into it and really dig in. However, the double-edged sword with that is because typically musicians are very emotional and passionate people. If we're not interested, we're just not interested. It's just the nature of it. But when we lock into something, we tend to leave with a greater level of comprehension, which is scientifically proven. The brain during music is like a fireworks show because you're activating so many parts of your brain while you're playing. Like I could be thinking about a conversation I had last week in the middle of a song. It's just amazing the kind of neurochemistry that takes place while you're playing.
Now, when I was first in music class, we had to take music class when I was a kid, and they had treble clef, the quarter notes, and all this stuff, the bass notes, and all that. That stuff was blowing me away. You know what I'm saying? When I was looking at the scale, I'm like, how do you guys read music? But it's very important, a good foundation to know how to read music, and I'm assuming you read music as well.
Absolutely. Music is a language. It's a legit language. Just like a language, what are the elements of language? It has to be written, and it has to be able to be communicated effectively. And so we have notes, rhythms, patterns. It's a discipline for sure, but the beautiful thing about it is I've literally played with musicians from other languages, other cultures, and we can't talk at all. But once we start to play, we're speaking and we're communicating clearly. And we may not be able to even say hello, but we're able to now have a full conversation and even share feelings, emotions, just like we're talking now, and say, I feel sad. I can say da do do da da.
Right.
I feel sad, you know. So yeah.
Now, you opened up with some Anita Baker, but I have seen images and video of you playing in like major jazz festivals and concerts and things of that nature. So oftentimes you'll get with other bands, you're the sax guy, and people can see you in different places. What's one of the biggest crowds you played in front of?
Whew. Man, biggest crowd. I would have to say, when I was younger, I played at a international concert with some pretty big names, Papa San being one of them. And so the stage there, it was about 1,000 people live, but it was being streamed all throughout the Caribbean. And so I think to date, that's one of my largest crowds. But I've also played with the likes of Ty Tribbett, which is a huge gospel artist. I've had the opportunity to do some recording and some studio work with other local artists. And so, yeah, pretty extensive.
I noticed you mentioned gospel several times. So you go through various genres with your music.
Sure.
Elaborate.
I've done everything from pop to rock and roll. I mean, like heavy metal, rock and roll on sax, even hip hop. I know a lot of people don't expect it, but like your latest, you know, Drake, Hotline Bling or whatever it is, I do that, as well as jazz, reggae. I'm Jamaican by root, and so it's always been in my blood. It's in my bloodline, and so there's no genre that I'm not afraid to experiment in.
When should parents or people who are mentors to children, if they're interested in them being successful as a musician like you are, what's a good age to get them started to tinkering around?
Soon as possible.
Really?
Soon as possible. Like I said, it's a language, and so babes, children, as soon as they can hum a tune, they're learning how to communicate musically. Because remember, music in essence is organized sound. And so everything has a frequency. And so music, when a child begins to experiment with that, again, scientifically proven, it begins to activate parts of their brain earlier on. And so the younger, the better, really.
Let's give a phone number, and I know you're on Facebook under your name, Douglas G. McDonald. People can hit you up there. You play at weddings, all types of events, receptions. I've seen you at just all types of events. If people need a little bit of nice little unique jazz up in there, or not necessarily jazz, but have that sax in there, you're available. Give that phone number verbally.
Phone number is 954-608-5259. Once again, that's 954-608-5259, and you can find me on Facebook at Douglas G. McDonald.
There you go. Now, final question before we get you out on the patio here at the award-winning Holiday Inn Airport, just across from Gulf Coast Town Center, to give us a little bit of a little concert there. When you get feedback from people who see you do that, what are some things they say to you?
You made my day. You made my night. It continues to blow my mind the impact that music has on people's whole experience, their whole attitude. You know, someone could be complaining to a waiter and frustrated at the food, but that sound will just kind of ease them down, have them relax. You know, I play at a restaurant in Fort Lauderdale that's right on the Strip, and I have people that are just walking by and they'll dance and they'll get down and have a great time. And so just knowing that I was able to make them happy, make them smile, because my whole motto that I live by is love God, love people, as well as the three principles, faith, hope, and love. And so I believe every time I play, I get a chance to share that with people.
That's Douglas McDonald. Doug, I think I heard or read somewhere that if you play an instrument, you'll always be able to feed yourself. You're literally able to feed yourself by that skill that you learn, right?
Man, I'm so grateful. Like literally, this is what I do full time. Is I'm a working musician. It's hard work, but I wouldn't rather be doing anything else.
You'll always be able to eat, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, that's what's important. Let's bump you out. We're going to get you out there on the patio in a second. Stay with us. We'll go to a break. The next time you see Doug, he'll be out on the patio at the fabulous Holiday Inn, award-winning Holiday Inn here at the airport in Fort Myers, right across from the Gulf Coast Town Center. We'll be right back. Give him a hand.
Congratulations to Lee Pitts Live, recipient of the NAACP Image Award.
Hi, I'm Maria Barrett.
And I'm Shayna Zupke of Barrett & Zupke Attorneys at Law.
We handle criminal, immigration, family, and dependency law throughout Southwest Florida.
We founded this law firm to help families through some of their most difficult times.
We get to know you and your case by listening and guiding you through the legal process.
We put clients first with compassion, consideration, and care.
For a free consultation, call 239-768-5003 or visit our website at www.b-zlaw.com. Office located at 5235 Ramsey Way, Suite 14, Fort Myers.
Si habla español, créole sur rendez-vous.
If there's one thing most of us can agree on, it's that violence in our community is out of hand. Drive-by shootings and people flat out having no regard for human life. There are neighborhoods where families don't even want their kids to play outside because of all the shootings. It has to come to an end, and there is a way that you can help make a difference without being known. Crime Stoppers. When you report the information you know about these violent acts and remain completely anonymous, nobody will ever know you called. And if your information leads to an arrest, Crime Stoppers will put cash in your hand. It's that simple, 24 hours a day at 1-800-780-TIPS. That's 1-800-780-8477. And online at www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com. You can also submit on the P3 Tips mobile app. If you see something, say something to Crime Stoppers. Do your part to help stop the violence and take back our community.
This portion of the award-winning Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Lee Health and by Florida Gulf Coast University.